Miss office life at all? Office life? Yes. I like being a cog in the machine a little bit, or having a machine, having other cogs to place or to work with. I like when everyone has their role, you know, and you're responsible for this part. With streaming, it's just you. Even if you have people hired in as your team, and there is a machine going, parts fall out, you have to replace the part. You know what I mean? This cog's a little messed up. You gotta fix it. You gotta do this thing. Like you're very responsible for the whole thing. And I do love a little standard, you know, I'm just in charge of this thing. Don't bother me. You know, you don't get that in streaming at all. You don't. Unless you're the biggest streamer ever and you have a whole team and you have hired in management that manage your entire team and you don't have to talk to any of them, then you kind of get that experience. Then your job is, you know, again, just make the content and hand it off. But you got to be like really rich for that, you know, like you got to be really far along. And even then, typically it doesn't end up being that because then it's not your touch that makes it, right? So it's definitely different. It's definitely different, but I don't mind it. I don't dislike it. There's just a lot of convenience that I don't have with that. But there are other conveniences I do have that I think make it a good trade-off, so it's fine. Like, I'm not going to be one of those people that sits there and is like, oh, streaming's so hard, you know, because it's not. The stuff outside of it can be hard. You are being, you know, a PM, except you actually have to be one of the good ones and do a good job. You are being like a brand and marketing person. You're being, you know what I mean? Like you're having to do all this shit that you're probably not trained for. That's like genuine work. I think the streaming part is the easiest part though. If you're one of those streamers that can subsist off of just that and you don't need to do the other stuff, I think it's like one of the easiest jobs ever. Straight up one of the easiest jobs. If you do other stuff, then yeah, okay, content could be like a little more normal job-y. It's like a standard desk job in difficulty, I'd say. But yeah, if you're just streaming, that's easy, honestly. I think the unpredictable income and unpredictable scheduling is the hardest part of it, which is usually not that much of a factor in most other jobs. You know, you get your salary, you're paid for your time put in, not always your results. It's not always results based. And then you have your schedule. You show up and you do what you can within the day and then you're done. And with just streaming, you can kind of have that, but you're definitely at the whims of other people and how they're scheduling stuff. If you do events and you do other things, you have to do all these meetings with all these different companies. Oh, I want to work with this company. Okay, well, they're based in Japan, so you have to have a meeting at 9 p.m. Also, we're telling you about it the day before. You know, like there aren't many other jobs, standard 9 to 5s, where you will just get told, oh, by the way, you have a 9 p.m. meeting tomorrow. Did I have that in my old job before streaming? Yes, because I worked with a lot of people from a lot of other countries. But I don't think that's standard for most people. Most people aren't the one that would handle that stuff. And I find as a streamer, you get a lot of that. We're in line with most small business owners. Yeah, it's very much the small business grind, which has its own set of difficulties. But again, that depends on the person. If you're just like, oh, I'm just going to stream and I'm not going to like really do too much other shit. I'm going to stream and I'm going to have one editor that edits videos and puts them on my channel for me. If that's all you got, it's like the easiest job, man. You know, happy to see more sponsors for you these days. Yeah, I have multiple communication lines to get sponsors and stuff. And I really have a lot of them dig around and find stuff that I would like. Because I was like, hey, I'd like to do lots of them. You know, it's good money, whatever. But I don't want to do them unless I actually have interest in the thing. So I have a few different agents that send out feelers and, you know, get stuff for me. That way I have like a wide amount of options and I can pick and choose instead of just having to take like whatever's thrown at me, you know. But it's been good. It's been good. It's been nice. I also do a lot of that independently myself, just straight up. I have contacts at different companies, like direct relationships with them, where they have my email and they can just, you know, some of them even just have me on Discord, and they'll just be like, "Hey, I got this thing for you. You want to do it?" And I go, "Okay." And that's it. But it's been going well, yeah. So if you're on a tight budget as a streamer, I imagine seeing your numbers dip would be hella stressful since there is no way to make sure you recover that. Just gotta hope more people resub. Yeah. I mean, that's the hard part, right? Like, it depends. I don't know. For me, if I have like a higher or lower month, typically the lower months, my sub counts don't tend to change that much. So I've never really been that concerned. Not never, but like, you know, the past long while. If I feel like fewer people are watching one month, it doesn't really affect like my sub income and stuff too much because typically the people that are subbed. I don't really have too many issues with that. So for me, I don't think numbers dipping is really like a problem. I don't perceive it as a problem, you know. Some people, it depends on what their community is like, but if some people there is a big difference, like their CCV and their sub count are like one-to-one linked, not one-to-one in value, but one-to-one like in ratio, and that can be really stressful for those people. Yeah, absolutely. But for me, it's been Not too bad. Not too bad. I definitely make less in ad revenue, but ad revenue never really made up a large portion of my income anyway. I have it set to the minimum, so it's, I don't really, that's whatever. You know what I mean? That's whatever compared to the other stuff. So you've seen people go absolute doomer when they're down 10% viewers between weeks. I know, it's crazy. I think it's one of the worst metrics to look at regularly for your mental health. Like, you should look at your sub count that lets you know how many of your regulars are still happy, kind of. It's not a perfect metric for that, but it's better, And maybe fewer of the randos that come through here and there are there. But if your sub count stays the same, then you're fine. Your core people are happy. Your community is still there. You just have fewer, tourists that month or whatever. That's fine. You don't have to worry. But people kind of look out at the one metric and then doom about it. And I'm like, you're fine. You're okay. Do gacha sponsors pay more? Is it just the frequency? It depends on the company. Some of the companies really pay some of them pay normal rates. A lot of them have a lot of money but still refuse to pay more. I don't really do many gacha sponsors. I've only done ones that were events like Nikkei. My secret is that when I have a gacha sponsor asking me, we always send them a higher rate because I don't want to do it unless they're paying more. If it's not a game I'm into. If I actually was into it and I actually liked the gameplay, I wouldn't do that to them. But if I'm less interested, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I give them the you pricing. I'm trying to think of what other gacha you've done outside of Nikkei. The only other one I did, I think, was Star Rail, and that's because their gameplay was fun. And that was a long time ago. Outside of that, I don't know. I'm not completely opposed. Oh, Persona X. Yeah. I did Persona X. That is gacha elements, but it's just a Persona game with gacha slapped on top, honestly. It plays just like a normal Persona. So that one, I didn't mind that at all. I did not give them the you pricing because I was like, hey, that's a Persona game. Yeah, gacha-ish, right? Right. Exactly. But I don't know. That kind of stuff, it depends on if I'm actually interested in the game or not. Some of the way sponsors work is really, sometimes they want to work with you. Raw Fury and New Blood are good examples. I said, hey, we could do normal sponsorship, or I could give you more and we become best friends. And I have this indie game gauntlet idea that I want to do. You sponsor it. I get a really cool event out of it. I get a bunch of game keys for my community. You don't have to give me a ton more money or anything like that. It's still standard, but we do a fun event together. And then in return, you just promote it. Tell your devs that I'm doing it and stuff like that. There you go. And give me some game keys. And it's really fun. And we end up building nice relationships with these publishers and stuff. That kind of stuff is my favorite thing to do. If someone's just hey, play this game for 2 hours, here's some money, I'll do that too. I mean, there's no problem with that, but when they'll support something being a little more of an event, I like that, Sometimes it's not the publisher though. Sometimes it's just a singular game and it's a little harder for them to do that type of event with me for sure. Or Monster Hunter, we did an entire outfit. Capcom was so down for it. They were so down for me to just be yeah, here's my whole set of designs. Let's make a Monster Hunter outfit. And they were they gave me their blessing to, they gave me art of a monster before it was shown. They gave me NDA stuff so that we could take elements from it and make an outfit based off of it. And then I was able to get a whole, thing going. So stuff like that I really like doing as well. I don't know, it just feels more special. It feels like a cooler project than just play my game for 2 hours, which is also not bad, but I like doing more involved stuff if we can,